2, 1. What's up, everybody? We are live. It's going to be a short one tonight because we just got back from the West Coast. Everybody's real tired. You're watching YLTV.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young
What's up, guys? So we are here. It is Tuesday night once again. We are back at True Sound Studios where we go live every Tuesday. We thank you guys for being patient with us. We came on a little bit late because we had a lot of issues with the internet, with the computers, with all the technology. Something didn't want us to go live tonight. But we're here, and welcome to the Lion's Den. We are the Young Lions. I got my brother here, Jake Evans, as always.
I don't think I ever heard you say that before.
What?
The Lions.
Dude, I said that so many times. This is how y'all don't pay attention.
Like literally every episode.
Right. I'm trying to brand this thing like the
Lion's Den.
Yeah, this is where we talk. This is where we go over things. And in the Lion's Den, you know, anyone who comes in here, they have to be prepared to step into it.
So Jamie just got in today, beasting it.
Yeah, man. You know, a little bit tired.
Overnight flight.
Had an overnight flight. Flew out at 10:15, and you know, all through the night I couldn't sleep at all because I can't sleep on planes, man. Like, I just can't do it. So,
dude, I actually, me and Jake flew in the day before, and that was the first time I slept pretty much through the entire flight. I must have been like super tired or something.
Yeah, because
put on a movie, boom.
You were up like doing stuff all day, running around with the kids, checking out the sights, and then you're on a flight at the overnight flight. Yeah, you know, and then the time change and everything.
Yeah,
so
I was in and out.
Yeah. Can we talk about why I came in later than you guys?
I mean, you need to talk about that. You're the one who did it.
So the plan for the trip was to fly. We flew out to the West Coast for my brother's wedding, who's watching right now. Shout out to John. Shout out to everybody in the chat. First of all, if you're watching, make sure you share and like the video, like the stream, so that we can get more people watching. But anyway, so we were on the West Coast because we were flying out there for my little brother's wedding, which was awesome. By the way, we'll get into all of that. It was great to see him get married. But the plan was, the wedding was on Friday, so we're going to all fly in Wednesday, all of us, me, Jake, Simone, Stan, my mom, like a big family trip. And first time we all did that together as a family too, which was cool. Yeah. And then we're going to fly out late Sunday night into Monday morning because that was the only flights we can get. And so like that's in my head. And we're like, yeah, so we booked the hotels, we booked the rental cars. First of all, let me talk about the rental car for a second. Did you have an adjustment? Like, there's something about how you get spoiled so quick, right? Because I know for me, like driving that Volvo all week, I had a Volvo S90 and it was so nice, and I was driving that all week, and then I get back and I jump in the Traverse and I'm like, this feels weird. It's like a car I've been driving for years. I'm like, this doesn't feel right. It feels so cheap. I'm like, you didn't get
spoiled. That? No, because Wani just got a new car, and her Honda Civic actually felt better, drives better than the Mercedes that we had.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
The Mercedes that we had, everything felt cheap in it. I don't know.
But I think that's like one of the lower models.
Yeah, I don't know what model it was. It was like
the CLA 250, I think.
Yeah. But the Civic that she has now,
I had a minivan.
Yeah, you had to try,
bro.
That whole tribe around with you everywhere, so you had a minivan. Yeah, Juanita found that company that they it's like some German company.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them. I'm like, this is gonna. I was worried. I'm like, they're gonna give us some 1987 Volvo or Mercedes. It's all like luxury vehicles you can get for an affordable price. So when we got there, and I started asking the girl, like, I never heard of this company, and she was telling me it's from Germany, and they're like one of the fourth biggest rental companies in the world now.
Yeah,
growing, but they specialize in luxury vehicles, and nothing is older than 2 years old. And I was like, okay, we gonna have something nice. So we got that S90, driving that thing around all week. It was nice, man.
that was it like a sports type of car or
No, it was.
What's funny, I never even seen the car that y'all
on the
drove.
site. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. So when you get there, they have the car that you want, or they have ones in the same range that you can look through in the catalog and
Okay.
pick. So they actually didn't have the model that we had picked on the website, and they didn't have any more available. So they were like, these are the ones within your class that you can get. So we saw the Volvo.
Right, but I'd never seen you guys drive in that car, like the whole entire trip.
What?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
like I'd never seen the car itself. I don't even know what type of car.
You didn't
Like
see it?
you told me what it was, but I'd never seen you guys.
Oh.
It's like we just missed
We
each
kept
other.
missing each other driving. Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. So I got spoiled in that for my week of driving it. But anyway, so we're on Sunday. We get up Saturday night, because we're all hanging out together, and it was about time to check into the flights to go home. And everybody's like, "Remember to check in your flights. Remember to check in your flights." So I go on my app, and I'm sitting in Del Taco with my wife and the kids, and I'm looking at the app, and I'm going to check in, and it's not letting me check in. I'm like, what the hell, man? And then I'm like looking at the time. You know, it gives you the countdown.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 days.
I know you was like freaking out, like, oh shoot.
Dude, the first thing that I freaked out about was like, did I book her? Because we were on separate reservations, because I used miles to get 3 of the tickets, which was me and the kids, and then hers I booked separately,
Right.
and paid for that one. So I'm like, did I book her on a different flight than me? You know what I'm saying? So I was worried about that, so I went and checked, but I didn't. But I booked her on the same exact flight, because I booked it using the flight number, so it was the same flight. So after that, I wasn't worried. I could just extend the room and the rental car if need be, and we'll be fine.
Which you got 6 extended a free day.
Yeah, that's another thing about the rental car company. Like, they didn't charge me for the extra day, which was awesome. Like,
That made me want to, extend the free day, but my flight was right.
yeah, so it was a little bit of a like stressful thing, but not too much. We just got an extra day.
You got an extra day. You went to go get dim sum or
Yeah, John took us to this whole like little Asian area where they had like ramen, they had dumpling places, they had dim sum places, they had all these boba places. You can see all that stuff on my stories if you're following on Instagram or whatever.
I love that stuff. I didn't get a chance to, so
yeah,
screw you.
So that's why I was supposed to get in yesterday, got in this morning, and didn't get any sleep really, and tired. So we're gonna just do a quick one tonight and talk some stuff, drink some beers, and then get out of here. But I did want to say, I did want to talk about John's wedding a little bit, because it was cool to see him get married. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, our little brother.
Our little brother, man.
Our little bro.
Before the wedding, so I officiated it. And,
yeah, Moan did a good job too officiating.
well, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No
if
mistakes.
anybody needs, their wedding officiated, don't holler at me.
Yeah,
No,
don't
I'm kidding.
call him, because he's not gonna do it.
No, but before the wedding, I don't know where you guys were, but the dude, probably like 5 minutes before the wedding, he got so choked up and like he was so nervous, he was about to cry, and he was getting me all emotional. So I just like gave him a big hug. I was like, "Yo, dude, do not be like this."
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'll be able to make it through.
Yeah, there was a bunch of moments where I got really choked up just thinking about him as a little kid and all the stuff that we've been through, because he's 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
10 years younger than us, or 11 than you.
Yeah.
And like just like remembering like literally changing his diapers and like watching him grow up from a baby,
Crazy.
from the day he was born to like now he's getting married. And it was the worst part for me was when we sang. he asked us to sing during his first dance, and it was back to tears. Yeah, it was like really. There was a moment in the bridge of the song when I was just like really fighting to not start crying, so I didn't like mess the song up.
Yeah, me too. The bridge is when tears was about to come.
And then when people were watching it, it's like when they saw all of the groomsmen. That was a funny thing too. It was like this little rivalry that sparked up between the bridesmaids and the groomsmen.
Yeah.
And they totally got shown up by the groomsmen.
They sure did.
Sorry, girls.
So, John, tell Amber that her bridesmaids they got destroyed by the groomsmen. But we have a little clip of that we could show if you guys want to see a little piece of the wedding.
If you don't, you're gonna see it anyway.
And when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. 'Cause even the stars, they fall, some even fall to the earth, and we got a lot to learn. God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't wanna be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. The difference is they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. Living the edge is still my friend. At least we didn't intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world caving in. I had to learn what I got and what I'm not, and who I am. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. I'm still looking up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right after that, all the groomsmen came in and joined in with the song, and that's when Amber really kind of like started crying when she saw, because her brother was up there singing with us.
Yeah.
Even though the tones weren't quite the best, but
Amber's watching right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
She says she watched this video like 100 times now. She loves it.
We love you, Amber. We were happy to do it. You guys are awesome. Thank you for letting us be a part of it. So
Cyril's watching. What's up, Cyril?
Cyril, what's up, man? We gotta do some work together. Cyril is an amazing engineer and a professor over at Drexel who does like the audio, the analog recording classes and stuff like that, teaches the kids about audio engineering and all that fun stuff. And we did some work with them when we did our EP. We sat in as one of the test subjects for the class and recorded some stuff.
The lab rats.
Yeah, but the wedding was cool, man. Like,
yeah, it was a beautiful. I pretty much danced all night, and I'm not a dancer.
Yeah,
we all did.
Yeah, everyone had a good time.
Yeah,
we all
kids
had
had a
fun.
good time.
It was a beautiful wedding.
Cali was fun. I wish the weather
wasn't
better.
that great.
Yeah,
For some reason, we got the worst California weather you could ever get, which
rain
was
every
slightly
morning.
raining and a little bit cold. Like, that's the worst Cali weather you get, right?
it didn't go above 70
It
degrees.
never rains in sun. Yes, it does.
Right.
It rained when we were there.
Tony lied to us with that. Yeah.
No, but it was crazy. Homeless people. That was. I didn't expect it to be that bad.
Dude, there was a ton of homeless people.
Oh my
out there.
gosh.
John told me that before. Like, there's a lot of homeless out there, but I know there's a lot of veterans out there too that are homeless, which is crazy. You just saw them everywhere. I saw a lot of homeless people and a lot of there was a lot of like adult like nudie places and like adult bookstores and adult
certain areas.
Yeah. I put a story up of one dude standing on the corner with a sign. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It was like he's standing there
Nude
holding the sign,
girls
and it
here or
said "nude
like
girls," yeah, and he's pointing in a direction.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
Nudies.
"Yo, when do you ever see that on the streets?" Yeah, that was funny. What else was funny about the wedding? Oh, how did y'all like the Guamanian food?
That was great.
Yeah, it was good. Was really
Pancit.
Philly.
Well, that's really Filipino.
That was Filipino.
Right?
It was. I think it was like a mixture.
Yeah,
right?
mixture.
But I was telling John this though. The pancit that I had and you had too was like no main noodles.
Yeah,
they made it with glass noodles, right?
Yeah,
because
like, I had it at Mango's house one time when we were over there doing karaoke.
Yeah,
of course.
Which is funny. We just went to Jaden's. He got inducted to the Junior National Honor Society.
Oh, what's up? Congrats, Jaden.
Congrats, Jaden.
Yeah.
But we sat behind Small World. We sat behind his sister's husband and their whole family. But the whole time I was looking like, yo, you look familiar. And then he at the end he came up to me. He was like, didn't you come to my house before for like a barbecue or something like that? I was like, are you related to Mike Mango? He was like, yeah, I'm married to his sister. And then he was like, yeah, I know your wife and Tasha too, because I used to work at Lowe's.
Oh, wow.
Small
That
world,
is a
dude.
small world. That's crazy.
Small world.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But yeah, the pancit that we had before, and I think Amy made it for us before.
Yeah, yep.
And it was different than that. But that was still good, the way they made it.
I think she's watching, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. Amy Barbosa watching.
Oh, Shaniqua's watching. What's up, Shaniqua? Where's your husband at? He said he had the kid tonight. He said you were working, so that's why he couldn't join us.
Yeah, but
liar.
I didn't really get like. So they roasted the whole pork.
They had a whole pig roasted.
Whole pig, yeah. But by the time I got to it, it was nothing.
Yeah, because that's because there was a little bit of a miscommunication or disconnect between the party planner and everything that was going on. Like she was a little bit all over the place, and she wasn't telling us nothing, right?
Yeah.
So the wedding party was supposed to eat first.
Exactly.
But they didn't tell us.
Yeah.
So, I luckily I went up there, and when I got up there was still a lot of the pig left, and I literally grabbed one of the legs and just ripped it off. I was just eating all the skin off.
The pig was gone by the time I got there.
Yeah.
It was like I had to scrape the bones and stuff.
I just went up.
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't call me or anything.
They didn't call anyone.
Yeah.
They didn't call anyone up. Everyone
they didn't?
Everyone just jumped up.
So we were just waiting for no reason.
It was a free for all, brother. It was a little unorganized in that way, but it was still good.
Yeah.
I got food on the empanadas though. I'm thinking empanadas.
Yeah.
Ooh. There's gonna be meat in it. I ate it. I took a bite.
What was inside?
It was rice and corn. Like I guess like
I think there was some like ground chicken in there too.
Was it? No, I don't think it. Well, the ones I had, I didn't taste any meat, but
I didn't. It
was more
ate
like
the noodles.
Yeah.
It was like a ground up rice and like cornmeal type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just when you expect meat,
right?
It kind of threw me off.
I think that was one of the best parts about the trip was just like not caring what I ate and just eating whatever.
Well, I've been doing that, so
yeah, I haven't. But I was like, while I'm there, I mean, I didn't eat that crappy continental breakfast at the hotel because I was not going to.
It was more than continental. Continental's bagels and
what was
had
it?
Fake eggs and it
had some powdered eggs,
fake sausages, and waffles.
Some gray sausages, some gray.
I was just telling Jamie, like I grew up. I don't know. I like weird stuff. Like I love McRibs and those type of sausages. They're just that's what they are. So it's like I used to eat them with white rice all the time. So it was like
yeah. But I remember even like coming over your house when we were teenagers or whatever. We would eat the rice with sausage, but it would be
But
like
it was
some
the real-
good
the real
Italian
sausage.
sausages.
That's when
or
we
something
had a little
like-
more money.
Okay,
When
so you was eating them with the little, what are they, brown and serves? The little brown and serve dollar
came in
store
the box.
joints.
Yeah. You microwave it.
It already got the brown marks on it.
Yep.
Like,
The fake brown marks, just like the
But see,
McRibs.
those sausages didn't even have the brown marks.
Yeah,
They
did.
just were-
They were steamed.
They were just a pale gray color,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
tasted mealy. Like it was almost like eating
It's not-
scrapple rolled into a sausage.
It's not meat, bro.
Yeah, it was not good. Yeah, so I wasn't messing with that.
Yeah. So
So
I like the. We went and saw some pirate ships, and
yeah,
that was interesting.
Yeah. Those were
The
cool.
submarines
Yeah,
down at the bay.
yeah. They had a Soviet submarine from the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
when you get to go
Yeah.
in. Did you guys check that out?
Yep.
Yeah. That was pretty cool, man. It's so tight.
Yeah.
And when you know Juanita, she don't like she
Enclosed
gets all,
places.
She gets
Yeah.
all scared because you had to actually climb into the
Yeah.
little hole thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, even like they had a ship from like the 1700s, and then a ship from like the 1500s.
1500s. Yeah.
Just to think, like people being on those ships for months.
Yeah.
dude.
It's crazy, man. Looking at like how much. Remember we were saying just the amount of rope that you had to make
Mhm.
to put one of those ships together. Like it was crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, crazy.
very interesting.
Yeah. Did you ever look up the because there was a little thing they're talking about the goddess Caliph, or was it, or Caliph, whatever California
Yeah.
got its name from.
It was an Amazon. It has to do with the Amazon queen
Okay.
of an island.
Rach is on it. Rach is on it.
Okay.
I don't. It's it's made up. It's not real.
Khalif.
Okay.
But yeah. So it's funny because they had pictures of
Yeah, the pictures of the people around her were like the elongated skulls.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't
you
know.
showed
if
me that.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I didn't even
Anybody
notice
know about elongated skulls? You ever hear about that, Rach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she watches Ancient Aliens. We're all on that. We're all on that Ancient Aliens, man.
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting. Out of nowhere, they had that.
John said that there's chicken in them. He thinks.
it. You think.
Okay.
What is
Maritime Museum. That's what it's called. Where we went.
Maritime Museum. What does Amber say? Is there chicken in those things, Amber, in the empanadas, or no?
Were
Say
they?
no.
Didn't he say it was supposed to be half Puerto Rican food and half?
Yeah, at first, but they
Was
had
it-
an issue with the restaurant.
So
or
the
something.
empanadas are.
That's the way they make
That's
it
the
Yeah.
way they make
in
it.
Yeah.
Guam.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody have that type of stuff, man. And like dough
Right.
folded up and fried.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's the Spanish influence. No.
So Guam was
Philippines. Yeah.
I don't even know exactly where Guam is.
It's pretty close to the Philippines.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's out in
So
that-
that's
in
probably
that
why
region.
they're
Yeah. That's why they're kind of like Spanish, but Hawaiian kind of vibe.
yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. But anyway, so again, congratulations to John, man. We're really proud of you, bro. You had a good time.
She says it's chicken and masa.
Told you, chicken.
And John says and rice.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Told you there was chicken in
I
there.
didn't taste the chicken, but
Oh, you know what was good though that I wasn't expecting to be good? That ground. It was like this cold dish. There was ground chicken with like chilies and
Oh, yeah.
garlic
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
That was
that was
good.
different.
Yeah, but I liked it though.
I didn't try it. I should have tried
Yeah,
it.
you should have tried that.
What's that called, Amber? The ground chicken.
John said budget. Money. That's why he didn't do the Puerto Rican food.
Oh, budget.
We got a little bit of a camera flicker going on here on both cameras. If you
Oh.
can see it, it's been happening, and not really anything I can do about it at this time. So
Yeah, I noticed it too.
Oh,
The color,
I see it.
The
Yeah.
color.
Something weird going on. Oh well.
some Camden internet.
Yeah, we've had way
Kel-
too many issues tonight.
Chicken-
We're just gonna roll with
Kaluguin.
it. Yeah.
Kaluguin. Sorry if I spelled that wrong.
Chicken Kaluguin.
Kaluguin.
Kaluguin. Huh?
Kaluguin.
Yeah, whatever it was good.
Yeah.
What else? What else did we do in Cali?
We did a bunch of family stuff because we had the kids.
Oh yeah, Layla's birthday.
Layla's birthday.
My daughter's birthday.
Yo, that was so. I felt so bad for her because Layla is Jake's daughter is super shy, and like to the point where she does not want attention. She doesn't want a lot of people staring at her. So the DJ announced that it was her birthday at the wedding, and she like ran and hid and like didn't.
She started crying.
She was crying. She just buried her face in her mom and would not. She was done. It was over
after that. Yeah, because she danced the whole time.
She was dancing nonstop. Yeah. As soon as that happened, it was a wrap. Yeah.
But she needs to get over that anyway.
Oh, Mike Mango's watching now. We were just talking about you, dude.
Just talking about you.
We were just talking about doing karaoke at your house and how we had some
We did sing karaoke.
Yeah. Did you miss that when I said it?
I did. I totally did. I forgot.
Yeah. And then remember we did Pictionary too?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. That was fun. Yeah, so that was our Cali trip. Now we're back. Got a lot of things going on. Going to Grenada soon. That's
in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That did you see the commercial for that?
I did see the commercial.
It looks legit.
It looks pretty cool. Carrie Hilson, Maxi Priest.
Yeah,
what?
Man.
Yeah. Should be a dope little trip.
Of course, my wife was like, "Can I come?" That'll be a no.
Right. Yeah, we don't get tickets for everybody. So let's talk about a couple things before we call it a night. Anything? Any topics y'all want to?
It's already 10:05, guys.
Yeah.
I found something kind of weird and interesting.
Okay. What is it?
So,
Ariana said, "Come back to Jersey."
We are in New Jersey right
where
now.
we are right now.
We're just not in your area.
We are at our studio right now.
So you guys, I know you guys kind of know about the Egyptian stuff and a lot of the ancient magical stuff and
the mystery schools,
antediluvian stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but we kind of research it and get into it a little bit just to see where things come from. It has to do with I don't know if you guys heard of Kabbalah, but which is a Jewish mysticism too. That's kind of all around the same wavelength.
Madonna was doing that for a while,
right?
Yeah.
So
did she make it popular? It was
her
it
and
was
like Britney Spears, I think. Yeah,
that's when
it was a Hollywood thing,
Yeah,
those Hollywood
the red
fads.
bracelet, the red bracelet, right?
Yeah, yeah, some kind of bracelet. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I came across something where they were talking about how the brain has to do with a lot of these statues and a lot of the stuff like the Eye of Horus, a lot of the Egyptian, the crown.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in the brain.
Okay.
And they did a lot of they probably cut open some brain.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures that you posted, man.
Yes.
It's
very interesting.
It looks just like the Eye of Horus.
So there were a few pictures. It even goes back to like Samaria and Babylonian fertility gods, where they look. I don't know if you've seen them, but how you ever see the statues that were like really fat and looked weird as heck, and you're like, why would they make a fertility god that looks like that?
I don't think so.
Or a fertility statue.
I don't remember.
Well,
seeing
we
that.
got them. So as soon as Rach pulls them up, but yeah, it's they're weird and fat and look crazy.
Yeah.
But when they show how it resembles certain parts of the brain, it kind of opens things up.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of like that. Yeah, there you go. That's one of them. So these are all. That one's hard to see. There you go. That's the one I was talking about. That's the Venus of Willendorf.
Okay.
But you see how when you look at it, let me get it back. There we go. There we go.
Why the one boob look all big and stuff?
Bad sculpting back then.
Yeah, but this is the wireframe of the brain. This is like, so you can see how it's kind of like similar. And they broke it down more. I just took snapshots just to show you guys.
What was this, a YouTube video you were watching?
Yeah.
It was like talking about the similarities between these sculptures and the brain itself.
Right.
Okay.
And a lot of them have to do with Venus. And Venus represents Semiramis or Astrith. Astrith is like the god of it has to do with Easter, Ishtar, Tay, all that. That's a good one. That one up. So this is literally like the crown that they wear in Egypt, right? So you have that. This is the brain, right? And then you have. Is there another one that's similar? Because I think they show it. Yeah, there you go. So
this is like a top view of the brain?
Yeah, it's the top view, like cut in half.
Okay.
Right, so go back.
Oh, that looks like a uterus.
Yeah, exactly.
It does.
So that one right there. Okay. Yeah, so that's in the middle of that, you have that little disc thing. You can see on the right-hand side, that's the crown over, I think it's Osiris. Right?
No, I don't know what I'm just saying.
On the right-hand side, you see it says third ventricle. So that's what it's under it is Osiris, but it's like kind of like, I don't know, in the shadows.
Oh, okay.
So that's Osiris's crown.
It's like in the background. Got you.
So then in the middle is the actual brain. So they're just showing the similarities to it.
Got you.
Right. And then go to the next one. So this is the same thing. So now they're showing the pineal gland in the middle.
Right.
And on the same thing, how in the middle of that you have the pineal gland.
Right.
And then you have on the outside of it, you have the snakes with the disc on top. And it's the same thing
okay.
in the human brain, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
So you have these two snakes, and then this one is the most
that's
out there.
You see this one a lot.
Yeah.
It has to do with like the pineal gland.
Yeah, so this is this is the side view of the pineal gland.
Right.
Pineal gland. And that's the eye of Horus on the other side.
And the pineal gland gets its name because it looks like a pine cone. Pineal is like Latin for that.
Well, actually, pineal...
I thought about something else, but...
It actually speaks of God, like El, pineal.
Right, but I'm saying like the pineal part is from the shape of it.
Yeah,
That's
there's a
what
part on it that looks like
a pine
cone.
And then you look at doesn't the Pope staff have like a pine cone on the top of it?
Yeah, like, and in Egypt they had a bunch of pine cones.
Yeah.
And it all represents kind of like a manifestation.
Well, it's thought that the pineal gland is the third eye.
Right?
Like that's kind of like where the consciousness lives in the pineal gland.
Right.
And the pineal gland is what secretes DMT, right? Is that known, or is that just something that they are like a hypothesis?
I mean, I know that there's a part of the brain that I think you're right.
Yeah.
And so when they do the DMT trips, they enter in. So we're getting into a little trippy spiritual realm here, but yeah, so I don't, if anybody's done DMT out there, which I don't recommend, but people have done DMT and they enter into a realm, they see crazy things. It's probably one of the craziest drugs you could do in terms of psychedelic drugs.
Didn't Joe Rogan talk about that?
Yeah, he talks about it all the time because it's something that it only lasts a couple minutes, but because DMT is something that's prevalent, like it's everywhere. Our body produces it, and but there's certain like receptors. Remember we were talking about cannabinoids? There's certain receptors that block the DMT from being activated. You know, and that's where ayahuasca comes from. Remember we were talking about before in the Amazon, like how the fact that they found the plant that could allow, because the plant that has the DMT in it wouldn't have an effect on you because you can't absorb it through the gut. There's an enzyme in your gut that suppresses DMT so that it can't affect you.
Right.
So the ayahuasca root is the one plant that they found that blocks that enzyme so that the DMT can be absorbed, so then you can have this trip. Which the fact that they were, these primitive people were able to put that science together is amazing. You know what I mean? But yeah,
aliens.
Yeah, but that's what they see a lot. They see aliens a lot, which is interesting. But people are asking where did I see this at? So it's called Encrypted Knowledge of Egypt's Symbolism. Encrypted Knowledge of Egypt Symbolism, and it's the channel is Now You See TV, and they have interesting things from time to time. I don't watch all their stuff, I don't agree with everything they talk about, but
I mean, as you should with everything.
Yeah.
I watch Joe Rogan's podcast, and it's not like I don't agree with everything he says,
Yeah, but there's definitely things that you can take from it,
Right.
like anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is interesting. And for me, it just shows, we're Christians here, but it kind of just shows how, like, you can go down those other roads. And what they were explaining in that is how the mind, basically, it's kind of like the root. In the beginning, when Eve, when the serpent said, "You can be God, you can be like God if you take this fruit," and it's kind of like that's what this whole thing is. When you look to your own brain, when you open up your own third eye, you can be like a God.
Right.
You can enter into spiritual wisdom and manifest, enlightenment, manifest your own destiny, bring in your own, which is.
Become one with the universe.
All that stuff, and which is all like lies, in my opinion. The only way is, Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, the life. No one comes to the Father but through me." And
but what is that like? Break down, because a lot of people don't even understand why he said that.
Yeah,
because they don't know.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
The truth and the life is.
So this is what's interesting. So the whole point of saying all that, like with the brain and everything, is because even at that time they looked at the body as a temple, right? The body's a temple. If you read the Bible, it talks about the body being a temple. And people say, "Oh yeah, my body's a temple. I got to treat it right, eat right, whatever." But to be a temple is to literally come to a place to meet God.
Right.
Right.
Well, it's a place where literally God is supposed to live.
God is supposed to live, and you meet Him there
in the temple of the Jews,
right? But you meet Him there, right? So, if we're a temple, then of God, then we're supposed to meet. I mean, we're supposed to allow people who don't have access to Him to see Him through us,
right?
And that can be twisted. You can take what God has and you can use it for your own gain, and that's kind of like what these mystic religions and these ancient mysticism religions did. Through the help of entities, DMT.
I mean, they tell you who the entities are. They make these statues to them. They talk about them. They make paintings to them. Like, people always consider it folklore, but they didn't consider it that. They considered it like these are the people that are bringing them their knowledge. When you look at all of these ancient civilizations, whether it's the Sumerians with the Anunnaki or the Egyptians with Thoth and Isis, Osiris, and all of that stuff, and all of them, they talk about gaining this knowledge, from them. Even the ancient, Native Americans, the Aztecs, the Mayans, like, they all have these same stories of these people that came and gave them this knowledge, and then they started to base their whole, civilization off of that.
Right, and you look at what comes from that. A lot of times it's a lot of carnage and
a lot of human sacrifice,
a lot of things.
Bloodshed.
In order to gain access to these things, you have to enter into covenants. You have to. In order to get power, you have to do things that you normally wouldn't do, and it's a slow process. But So you had like when I've read books on this, when the Spanish came to Mexico and to the Central American area, and they talk about what they saw. Like you had people, it was cannibalism. You had people eating children as delicacies. You know, then when they went to the Aztec capital, I can't think of it right now, but
is that it?
Tenochtitlan or whatever,
something like
Tenochtitlan.
I don't think that's it. But
was it Montezuma?
I think so.
Yeah, one of those. Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl. Yeah, I do.
One of those names.
I have a horrible memory with names, but when they went there were bones.
They found mass graves.
Yeah,
baby bones. Yeah,
and the king is just chilling, like eating baby corpse, because that's like what they do.
I mean, Apocalypto. Remember that movie?
Yeah,
like, they depicted that.
That kind of like alluded to that, and that's what they would do.
Mel Gibson need to do part 2, yo.
Yeah, he's been shunned.
So this was them getting access to knowledge, getting access to things. So in a way, when the Spanish came, they kind of put an end to all that, which was kind of good.
Right, in a way.
Right. In a way. Brought the gospel in a way.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like when you read the Old Testament and you read the stories of the Jews and how they were sent into, or the Israelites, how they were sent in to conquer certain lands, and they had to kill off certain people because of the things they were practicing, or the type of human sacrifices they were doing, or genetically they just needed to be eliminated.
People don't understand
cleansed.
Like genocide. People, the Bible, it's about there's genocide in the Bible. Well, you guys don't realize what was actually happening, what's going on. If you go back and you research, you'll find that there was a lot of genetic mixing, especially before the flood, antediluvian times. There was a lot of genetic craziness that was going on that is kind of hinted in Genesis 3 or Genesis 6. But goes into more detail.
The way I see it is that
the
way I see it is that it's like kind of glossed over as in common knowledge. Like it's not even just like hinted at. Like, oh, here's a little taste of this. It's
right, exactly.
Like, then
because we already know.
Yeah, we know this, so that happened, and then moving on. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how that.
And that's what, even in like you have the Book of Joshua, you have. Chronicles, you have Kings, and they kind of gloss over it too, because they call these people the Raphaim, and these are like mixed breed giant / I mean, you had one like Goliath.
Right.
People think, he was just a big dude. No, he was actually.
When you look at the way he was described.
Yeah, there were different things going on. There was a lot of weird craziness going on back then that a lot of people don't realize, and it kind of died off. And it's funny because we were talking about the thing, the Califica or whatever. And we saw they had like drawings of the elongated heads.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people watch like Ancient Aliens or any of those things, but they found skulls of elongated heads in
South
America.
Right.
Costa Rica.
Yeah, Central America, South America. Mm-hmm. There were giant bones found in America,
right?
Especially in the early 1900s.
There's other places where people used to like tie their heads up to get the elongated look, but it's not the same. The skulls don't match those skulls.
Right.
It's a totally different type of skull, which is weird. So they, the Ancient Aliens thing is like, of course it's aliens. That's the answer for everything. It's like, how could it not be aliens? It's like,
but there was. Biblically, there was genetic stuff going on. In the time of Noah, it said that he was the only one that was not corrupted.
Right.
And that was fleshly corrupted.
Right.
People think he was perfect. No, he was not corrupted.
Clearly, he wasn't perfect because it talks about the crazy stuff he was doing.
He got drunk.
Right. Yeah. But I remember talking to Rachel about this before. It was like people don't kind of like get the full picture because of the fact that a lot of this stuff has been eliminated from Scripture.
Right.
You know.
So it's kind of like about corrupting our temple. Going back to that,
Scripture or like even history. Like they we never talked about any of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
So if our bodies are supposed to be this place where God dwells,
yeah,
and if the enemy or the devil or can corrupt that, then God can't dwell there.
Right.
You know, and the point was him to dwell with us from the beginning. So Jesus came to make that way back. He is the way, the truth, and the life. So the temple in Israel was a symbol of what was to come. So when Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, they literally called, there's parts of the temple. You have the outer court, which is where they did the sacrifices. So this is where you would come humbly before God and give of yourself, give your sacrifice to him so that you could meet him there, right? Where grace met you. Okay. So then you have, then you go into the place of the Holy of the Holies, right?
Yeah.
So this is what? The truth.
The truth, right?
The way. The way is the sacrifice. The truth is the place where they had the menorah, they had the showbread, they had the incense, and this is a lot, so I could go through it all, you know, and take me hours to go through it all. But then you'd go through that, and then you enter into the Holy of Holies, which is where the Ark of the Covenant is.
Right. So
the Ark of the Covenant, that's the seat. It was the mercy seat and was the seat of God. It was the place where God sat, right? It was where his spirit was. And the high priest came in once every year, the Day of Atonement, before God. If he didn't do all his ceremonial rituals to become cleansed, he wouldn't be able to enter in. If he entered in and he wasn't cleansed, he would die.
Right.
So they would talk about how they would tie a rope on the high priest just in case.
Leg, just in case he was messing up on the side.
Right. And then there's even
side piece.
Yeah.
There's even cases of people dying who've touched the ark in the Bible.
Indiana Jones, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So
I've never watched like the full movie Indiana Jones, like any of them. I've never seen them straight through.
Get out.
But yeah.
So when you talk about the way, when he said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life,"
no one comes to the Father but through me.
He's literally laying out the path into the Holy of Holies of the temple. So people, when he said
he's making that connection.
People
back.
of that time knew what he meant. You know, and now it's become this thing that people just say,
like he's the only way, the only truth, and which is the truth,
right?
But there's
they don't
a significance
the
to that.
The significance of how that anchored into what they were already believing.
Yeah, it was already established. It was already there.
Right.
Like to be baptized, water baptized. That's a mitzvah.
Right.
It's already there.
Right.
You know, all this stuff was there. It didn't just happen when Jesus came around and now we're changing everything. No, he just brought life to everything that was done before.
Right.
You know, and he says, no one comes to the Father but through me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he showed the way to the Father. So he was that righteous, because they called the priest the righteous one, right? So he was the righteous one. He was the priest who was able to enter in before the Father in heaven. There's parts in Revelation where it talks about the throne room of God being a sea of glass that you stand on,
right,
in heaven, that the floor was a sea of glass. So Jesus had to come into that place where there's a sea of glass. And I found it interesting that, like, you have Peter, you know, Jesus walked on water, right? Why? Because he saw the Father. He walked before God. So he walked in that throne room before God. He had a different perspective. So he didn't see things like we did. And when Peter looked at Jesus, he was able to walk on water. The moment the storm came, he couldn't walk anymore. He went under.
Right.
Because as he kept his eyes on Jesus, he was in the same place where Jesus was, perspective-wise. You know what I mean? So if you see the Son, Jesus says, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. So if you see the Son, you see the Father. So he showed us. And another thing to go back to the temple is he said that he's going to destroy the temple and build it up in 3 days. And he wasn't talking about the temple. He was talking about his temple. Mm-hmm. And he was doing that to show how how God dwells with them and continue to dwell with them. You know, and he said that in a time where they were using the temple in a way to keep people paying them. You know, they were standing in the way of God's grace. Right. Because that was the only time you seen Jesus mad, where he went in the temple, he started destroying things. Yep. Because they were literally, you know, oh, you want to come before God, you gotta get this animal. Right. You know, what you got, that's not good enough. Right. You got to get this one right here. Mm-hmm. You know, so it was a way to keep people in bondage. Yeah. And that's what you see.
Jesus would be mad right now, you know?
Yeah. Right. Because that's what you see in the world today. Yeah. So it's a twisting of things, you know. And I just thought it was interesting, like how everything in the brain, you know, the stuff that's there, it just shows how this is what God created, but then these mystical religions, these ancient religions, just took it and tried to twist it to gain access. Right. To it.
They want to unlock the secrets of it, which is because even to this day, the brain is one of the biggest mysteries in the universe. Like, they don't fully understand the brain. Yeah. You know?
I mean, and it's funny because we were talking about the brain the other day. Yeah, we were. Right? A few podcasts it's still May, ago.
And it's Mental Health Awareness Month, guys. So the brain, this fits right in. This fits right into the brain stuff. Yeah. But yeah, the brain is a mystery, man. Like, and the fact that we only can access a certain amount of it, you know, says a lot. That we don't understand the full potential of the brain. Right. You know, so there is this idea that, like, if you do these certain things, you can unlock that. You can, you know, and I think that's why, like, psychedelics and DMT and things like that have kind of emerged again in popularity, because it's like people in search of a way to tap into their fuller potential as a human being, you know.
Yeah, or maybe just something like, I think everybody at their core wants more than what they see. Yeah. You know, and is looking for what they know is there, but they don't know is there. Right. You know what I mean? Like, they're looking for more. Yeah. So it's like, some people get, you know, jaded and don't care, but there's a lot of people who do. Right. And they go the wrong routes to find it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we talked about it before, how, like, DMT has, or there's other forms of psychedelics that they're using in drug trials now for people with post-traumatic stress disorder. And, like,
you said mushrooms right there.
Yeah. Well, mushrooms just were legalized in Denver. Well, decriminalized, not legalized. Right. But decriminalized in Denver. But yeah, like, they use those a lot of times for those treatments for people that, like, have nightmares, or, like, you know, people that were in combat and, like, can't sleep, have nightmares, have these issues. They use that to have them gain a new perspective in ways. Like, it's been shown that it will solve it for them. Even, like, some kids with like, they have seizures, things like that. They've been finding treatments in those things, which, you know, is weird, but it shows you that it's a brain. There's a thing with the brain that we have to learn how to conquer in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, everything has to do with the brain, like, just how we perceive life. You know, I mean, it deals with our heart, but the brain is where we analyze it and then move forward, you know. Right. So
the brain is the lens with which we see everything. Right. Which is funny, because it's like, even colors, like, you find out that, like, what is it about colors? Like, you're not actually seeing the color, like
your brain
is filling in the blanks of these colors,
right?
Yeah. Which is a weird thing.
Yeah, our eyes don't see the color.
Right.
It gets it's like our eyes, the spectrum comes through, but our brain has to analyze it.
Right.
Figure it out, I guess.
Yeah. I remember that one show I used to watch on Netflix. It was like Brain Games. You ever watch that?
Yeah.
It's trippy, man.
It is trippy
because it shows you how like your brain will do that with a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Fill in colors, fill in like words, fill in just whole concepts, and then you don't realize that you're not actually like seeing what you think you're seeing a lot of times. You know?
Yeah,
it's funny.
Or even taste like, or just visually. I remember one of them was a restaurant where they would have the same exact food, but one would be presented a certain way, right, and then the other would be on like a plastic, with plastic fork and, whatever like that. And everybody would say, that is better.
I don't think that works on me. I think like I'm looking for the mom and pop space. Right. Like I want the plastic fork. That means it's going to be the best food.
Good, right. But it was funny because there was an episode where they did this case study and they brought like, hundreds of people into one location, and the location was made real fancy and there was great plates and great service, but it was the same food. And then the other location was like, waiters were rude and it was on plastic, and then people were supposed to rate the food, and it was almost 100%. Like,
would you pay $25 for this plate,
right,
type of thing?
On the the cheap restaurant, it was like I wouldn't even pay $5 for this, and then in the other one, it was like I would pay more. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't think it works for me. Like for me, if it's good in a plastic thing, it's good.
A lot of things are like that. It's perception, man.
It really is.
Perspective.
Yeah, it's like you buy a pair of sneakers because you're told that those are
the thing that's happening now.
Right.
Yeah.
When me and Kyle were talking about that backstage at the last Freddie show, about how like people will line up to buy like a pair of Jordans or something, and it's something that I would never do because it's all about perspective. But to someone that's real important, like they need that, and it's all about like for them that's important, but for me that's not. Like I don't.
Yeah, you got to make it. It's not just about making it make sense. It's about having it something that you're familiar with and you can connect to, because that's what they do in advertisement,
right?
Marketing.
Yeah, marketing is all
try to get you to connect to the product.
I've been noticing with like everything that I've been ordering a bunch of different things for a couple of projects off of Amazon, and all of these products come in boxes. Like the product is the size of a cassette tape, and the box is the size of like you could fit a TV in it. And I'm like, I don't and not even the Amazon box, the product box, because they want. Well, if you're going to spend $30 on this, you got to feel like you're getting something until you take it out of the box, and you're like, this is really small. But that whole like it is a deception. Like when you're standing in the store to be like, I'm getting this thing,
I have this thing that I will take with me, and I've purchased something. It's all that's a trick. Yeah.
Even on like YouTube or they got all the unboxings and people. Like, I never understand that. They're going through like, oh, it's got a nice casing that's around it. And,
the beauty community on YouTube, like one of the things you'll hear in like every product review is like, the packaging is clearly this is the most important thing to me. And I'm like, it's fine to care about packaging and how something's presented. And if that plays into whatever your field is, like, great. But there's also just like, I could care less about the product as long as the packaging looks good. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
No.
That's crazy.
No.
That's backwards as hell. Like,
you might as well buy everything from China. Oh.
Why? Because they have the best packaging?
No, they have the cheapest stuff if you don't care about the stuff.
Oh, yeah. But you care about the packaging, bro. You got to get the good packaging. Yeah, Amazon does that too. It's like, I think it's something about, it's marketing in a sense, because it's like, if your neighbors see these big Amazon boxes coming to your house all the
Right.
time. So it's
Yeah,
like
'cause
this
that-
box
you're right.
filled with bubble wrap this size, and then this is in there. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, it's that's how they send
But
everything.
that prime tape,
Yeah, that prime tape is
all
visual,
around
yeah,
there.
right.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's wizardry, bro.
it is,
It is
wizardry.
wizardry.
I mean, the whole concept of propaganda and marketing comes from a wizard, right? Comes from what's his name, the psychologist who wrote the book basically on that, Sigmund Freud.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know.
Isn't he the one? Look that up for me, Rachel. See if he's. I think he's the one.
I have
that,
a hard
like,
time remembering names.
Yeah,
Well, I know who Sigmund Freud is, but I didn't know he did that.
it was either him or like his grandfather. Someone it's something that has to do with him.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but like they basically, whoever it was, laid out the fact that like you can use these like little cues and these little things about human behavior to market to people. And
Right. So you look, that's the war. The war is the mind. You know?
Right.
Once you get the mind, you can eventually get the heart. Because all you got to do is make something look good enough, and then you take it in, and then now you got the heart. You know.
Right.
And then once you get the heart, the mind is conformed.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what you see a lot. Like, I have no attachment to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, me
You know,
either.
none.
Me either. So yeah.
So like,
But in a way, you're made to feel like you're missing out, right?
Right.
You're like, or something's wrong with you if you haven't watched it.
You're
you
not
know?
you're not missing out on anything, especially on this last season.
I was kind of like drawn into it by other people. I was like, okay, I'll watch this.
Yeah.
And then in my spare time, I watched it. But when this season came out, y'all lost your minds. And I was like, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'll just wait
Wait
till
a minute,
later.
y'all.
There's only like 6 of y'all.
yeah, you.
Y'all.
What-
Not you,
why,
just
why,
you.
Why did I lose my mind?
Because you're like, oh my gosh, have you seen it? It's out. Have you seen it? It's out. Things are happening. And I'm like, I don't care. But like, you're right. People, so I everywhere, people were like, what do you mean you're going to wait until later to watch the episodes?
Right.
I'm like, because it's going to be okay. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's not that serious.
Because you're not attached to it.
And it's like,
Yeah.
my life is not going to change. You know, it's kind of like, you know, the going to the spots that like we talked about In-N-Out Burger while we were in Cali, right? And have you ever been to In-N-Out Burger, Rach?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So for anyone who's in love with In-N-Out Burger, you're going to be mad. But it's like, the way we always describe it to people is like, if you want to go just to say you went, then go. But it's not going to change your life.
Yeah, it's not
You know what I
life-changing.
mean?
It's a better McDonald's.
Yeah.
I don't think any food place is gonna change your life.
It's not.
Either.
It's not. Like, it's never like, yeah, you have good food and you like it or whatever, but people put too much emphasis on that.
Yeah.
It's hype. It has a lot of hype.
Right.
But the last time I didn't eat it when we were down there, but the last time I did, it was delicious because I wasn't hyped up
But it's like that
from
saying.
before I went.
It's that
What is
saying. Living my best life.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Ooh, look at me. Let me put my Instagram pictures on.
Yeah.
Look where I went. You know what I mean? It's, to me, it's just like, look at the life I'm
Yeah,
living.
there's a lot of
you know,
people
it's
that-
more about that.
Right.
You know, like, oh, this was so amazing. Like, and yes, you can go places and it's
Yeah.
good, but if you put too much emphasis in that, like that is valuable to you,
Right.
and it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
You know, if you didn't eat that your whole life, you're still the same person.
Yeah. And I think people don't understand that. Like, I also say this about fashion. Like, food and fashion are kind of like in that same boat to me. Where it's like people have turned something that was a basic necessity into this crazy thing that we obsess over, where we will go drive 16 hours and wait in line for a pair of sneakers or to eat a bowl of soup somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, this is supposed to be something that you needed to survive and
Yeah.
nourish
Right.
yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like when you like, sometimes I'll watch like Top Chef or like one of them shows and you see them there like, this this doesn't taste like like the way they just judge the food.
Yeah.
And you're like, and you step outside of it, you're like, what are we doing? Like, what are humans doing right now? As human beings, we are totally lost our minds. Like, we're just like judging everything.
Yeah.
Making other human beings cry because their sauce isn't good enough.
Exactly.
Or we just can't have sauce.
Yeah.
At least they can have sauce on Top Chef.
Or like Project Runway, you're making them cry because like who would wear this? Meanwhile, there's people that don't have clothes in certain places that would kill just to have a blanket, and you're like, no one would ever wear this. This is disgraceful. It's like,
but that makes no sense, because I've seen a lot of fashion shows where they wear some outlandish shit that nobody would wear.
Right.
Like, who?
But those are supposed to be art.
Yeah.
It's like that's the point.
Okay.
It's like artistic.
But that's art,
Right.
so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's art.
Yeah.
That's funny too.
Okay.
Because now it's acceptable because it's art.
Right. Well, that's what the Met Gala is, right? It's supposed to be like artistic.
Met Gala makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. It's just not anything that I would ever care about.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry.
Isn't that the thing that Lady Gaga
You don't have
wore
to.
the meat suit to? I think so. Didn't she wear the meat dress to the
I don't
Met
know,
Gala?
dude.
That is.
I just
Like people wear
meat
weird, they
dress?
just dress. There's always like a weird theme, and they wear like these weird costumes. I think someone said that Cardi B.
No, MTV Music Video Awards was the meat dress.
Oh, God.
Don't get.
Okay.
Well, it's all about distraction. It's
Right.
all about entertainment.
Mhm.
It's kind of the same thing. Entertainment,
Right.
distraction.
It's wizardry.
Yeah, it's to distract you from life and put your effort and
Into
your
meaningless
heart into
things.
stuff that doesn't matter.
Meaningless things.
Like
Yeah. Like
It
I'm
doesn't
gonna
matter.
obsess over a pair of sneakers.
yeah. And then you want to talk to me about how you're oppressed? Get out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're going to stand in the line and gonna buy some $500 sneakers,
Yeezys.
and you're gonna tell me you're oppressed. That doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
Yeah. It's crazy. But we've gotten to this point because we live such privileged lives that it's like you're able to obsess over things like that. Because when you are poor, like really poor, and when you really struggling and you're really like fighting for survival, like they centuries ago, you didn't have time to obsess over that stuff.
In some places around the world.
Yeah,
And the funny
places
thing
that are
is,
still like
isn't that a worse entrapment or jail where you kind of put yourself into, like, you know what I mean, or slavery?
It's another form of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another form of it.
Because it's not out in the open, like it's seduction,
Right.
Venus.
Yeah.
Going back to
Going back to that.
and then what was that? It was about the mind,
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's the point. It's about our minds and seducing us and making us. And how many people are like, "Oh, you're not watching that?
Yeah.
Or you're not up on that?
That's
Or you
what
don't
we
know
were
about
saying,
that?"
yeah.
I mean, even in the ghetto, it's like, dude, people try to make you feel stupid because you don't know,
Dude,
a word.
What are
It's
those?
a made up word.
What are those?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That's the thing that, and we know even as kids, like Bobos was a term.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Oh
And-
man, I used to get clowned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what Bobos are, Rach?
Put me hip to that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, I would always have my boo-boos.
Yeah. Yeah. Bobos are like, if
Spaldings, Jordashes.
you would get clowned if you came to school with Bobos, which
Yeah.
we wore. We didn't, but the thing was, I never cared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
there
couldn't
was
clown me
something.
because I didn't care.
One of our friends, we used to play football all the time, and one of our friends, there was this kid who lived next to us, and
Dude, we need
He
to
was-
just start doing a whole series of podcasts where we start talking about our childhood and breaking down all the
Hilarious.
characters.
so this guy's name was Lenny Lambert, right?
Lenny Lambert
He's
had
a-
Tourette syndrome.
Tourette syndrome, white guy, horrible. He was poor,
Yeah.
and he didn't have any. Like we had at least like a step up. He
Right.
had like the worst Walmart shoes you could have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Walmart didn't even exist
No,
then.
it was more like James Way. Remember James Way?
James Way. Yes.
Yeah, Bradley's,
Yeah.
Payless. Yeah.
But anyway, so Junior, our best friend,
Yeah.
the black guy,
Yeah.
we'd play football.
Who always had Jordans.
always had Jordans. He was the first in the neighborhood to have Jordans.
Swore he could jump higher because he had Jordans
Oh my
on,
God.
which was hilarious.
But he used to always like play out Lenny.
Yeah.
Right. So Lenny be on the other team we play football against, and he's like, "Hut 1, Hut 2, Hut 3, Hut 4. My shoes cost way more." We just all start laughing,
Yeah.
and it's just the little stuff like that that just.
Yeah.
It's like it's funny, but it's a play out, and
Right.
you make somebody feel bad. And we think, like, we talk about it all, me and him, like the stuff we did when we were little and just making people feel bad. And, you know,
Right.
it's just, you realize it now. Like,
I think it's this
bad.
whole idea that people need to care about the things that you care about. You know, people need to obsess over the things that you obsess over, or else, because I feel like if you think that you're the only one that cares about these things, that makes you weird or crazy, right?
And it doesn't. Does it really matter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I care about it, nobody else cares about it. You know, that thing I always
Right.
say that is such bullshit. Jay-Z's line, "We don't believe you. You need more people."
Right.
You know, that's such a ghetto thing to say.
Right.
I don't even want to say ghetto. It's a poverty thing. It's a poverty mind mentality thing to say, because all it takes is one person
Right.
to change things. You know what I mean? And that mindset gets you to believe you can't do anything different, and
Well, I
you
mean,
have to conform.
That's the mindset that we live under now completely, because it's like as soon as you see someone post something on social media, Twitter, Instagram, it's like, well, how many followers do they have?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
They're insignificant.
They're irrelevant.
Oh, they have 30,000. That's semi-legitimate. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like you have to, like, everything is based off of how many
Or-
people follow you.
Or if you say something that isn't, you know, that's out the norm, you'll get jumped on.
Right.
You know, what is
Yeah.
wrong with you?
Right.
Or a black person supporting Trump.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, yeah, but that's becoming actually. You're starting to see more and more people jump on that nowadays.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
More and more black people coming out saying that they voted for Trump. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh, they support him now.
wearing MAGA hats now. Yeah. And it's like, you know, they don't. I guess it's also another way to rebel. You know what I mean? And be counterculture in a sense, because the culture is definitely like Trump's evil and racist, and you know, no one's allowed to like him. So it's like the counterculture becomes, well, I like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you can be counterculture if you
Right.
have a MAGA hat on. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, the counterculture was the big earrings and, you know, being punk rock for a while. It's like that always pops up, you know, or hippies, you know, back in the 60s was a counterculture, you know.
But when anything you do to rebel against what's there is stupid.
Yeah.
Because
especially if that's your motivation.
Because now you see everything with those glasses on, like
Right.
anything else. Like, if that's your like, no, I'm not going to do that because they do it.
Right.
Like,
That's
I can
happened
see
with religion,
logic
too.
in that, but
We
that
talk
can't
about
be
it
your
all
motivation.
the time. Because there is a real thing to that, because
Yeah.
even like around here, growing up around here, being Eagles fans, you see those people that pop up there like
Oh yeah.
purposely want to be fans of the direct opponents, like
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, Redskins fans, Giants fans.
Yeah.
Like, you're just doing that to be counterculture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just doing that to be, you know, opposition. You
Yeah.
know, and
We're
it's
talking
like,
about you, Stan.
no, I think Stan has other reasons.
Stan just gave up on the Eagles.
Stan was
Yeah,
let
he
down.
was mad.
By,
He was
mad
mad
when they traded Brian Dawkins.
Dawkins.
Yeah,
I was mad too, but you know,
yeah.
that's my squad.
But it's like all these people that are Cowboys fans around here.
Yeah.
You never been to Texas. Never even like
Exactly.
And a lot of times it is because they were a dynasty for a while. That'll be the motivation.
I mean, that's what kids like. My son Jaden, like,
Right.
there was a time where he liked, you know, the Giants when they won the Super Bowl. There was a time where he liked Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
You know, they like whatever is hot right now or whoever is winning. He was a Steph Curry fan. Now he's not, you know.
Why? He's winning.
Well, he jumped off it now. Now he's on the Sixers because the Sixers are, you know, they're doing better.
Oh, okay. So now
that's just kids.
Right. I never was like that, even as a kid.
Yeah, me either.
I never jumped on the winning teams.
Yeah. You see it with parents with their kids playing sports.
Yeah.
You know.
Getting way too overly hype, over involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sports is life. No, it's not.
No, it's not. That's another thing. That's another thing that like we are so like bought into the fact that matters so much. You know, like it just matters which team wins. It matters, and it's like then we do it all over again next season.
Yeah. Dude, you know how many times I talk to people and I can just see how they get so annoyed when they start talking to me about the Eagles, and I don't know as much as like I always tell them I'm more of a soccer fan,
right?
So they always look at me like
something's wrong with you. It's the same thing we're talking about. It's like if you tell them, "Yeah, I never watched Game of Thrones," it's like, what?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Right.
How dare you exist in my world?
Lost Cameron 1.
We lost Cameron 1 again.
All right. Well, I think it's getting close to that time anyway.
Yeah, we went a little longer than.
We can never just do a short show.
Short. You want to wrap it up then, since I don't have a camera.
Okay. Well, I've never done this before, so I'm Jake. It's my buddy Simone over here.
What's up, guys?
We got Jamie. We got Rachel. So we're gonna say goodnight, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Jamie's camera is back up, so he's gonna finish this.
Support us.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back, guys. So let me wrap it up. Thank you, Jake, for taking that. So, yeah, remember, guys, follow us on our Instagram. We have a Young Line TV on Instagram. Follow us there. Share this video. Like it. Go to our Patreon. You can become a Young Lion yourself and be a part of the team, and then we add you to our special group where we give away our music and all of our future music coming out, all of our past music, and then we'll give you special content. We'll do special live streams for you guys, special little chats and conversations, all that good stuff. Plus, you'll be supporting the podcast, supporting the Young Lion, so we can keep getting truth out there, keep talking about real topics, and you can see men having real conversations and trying to build up the Young Lions out there. Young Lion TV. Go to patreon.com/Young Lion TV and become a Young Lion. Subscribe. And yeah, anything else you guys want to say before we wrap it up?
No.
Said it all.
Thank you guys for watching. We love you. We'll see you next week where we'll have a full episode where we won't be so tired. We want to thank Rachel for coming in, doing her thing as always. And hopefully next week the Rachel camera will be back. See you guys. Peace.
Young Lion go live, yeah. Young Lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom